हेलो प्रेस्टीज शो चल रहा है सफरनामा मेरे यानी ओशीन के साथ और टुडे वी हैव मिस्टर निखिल तनेजा विद अस. ही इज अ प्रोड्यूसर, डायरेक्टर, राइटर, प्रोफेसर, storyteller and much more. So welcome to Prestige sir. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Osheen. It's an honor to be here. You are already such a great RJ at your age in this college. I can't wait to do this again with you in a few years in a professional radio station where you would be the RJ and hopefully I'd also still be interesting.
Thank you, sir. So I have some questions from Prestigians to you.
Sure.
So when you make a TV show or a web series, so जो content होता है आपका, how you decide that it's good or bad or it will be entertaining for the larger audience? It's a gut feeling or something like that?
It's a very good question and a very tough question. See, ultimately creativity does not come from committee. You can't have a bunch of people getting together in a room and deciding what is that one thing that everyone likes, because everyone's going to have a different point of view. So yes, somewhere it is instinct. A lot of it is instinct. The best producers, the best directors have that instinct of what makes for a good story, and that instinct comes from having been an audience for these stories. So for the longest time I've watched so many movies for the longest time I've watched so many movies and so many TV shows and series, etc, etc. So now I have an understanding of what I like, and that when I think of myself as an audience, and if I think that all the audiences like me, that they like the kind of stuff that I would like, and if I try and make things that ultimately I would like, and which would also mean that everyone else would also like the same thing. So I'm hoping, sometimes होता है कि कुछ लोगों का टेस्ट इतना खराब होता है कि वो ऐसी चीज़ें बनाते हैं ये सोच कर कि मुझे पसंद आया सबको पसंद आएगा. So it's not always true, but fortunately in my case it has worked out a few times.
Okay, so what is according to you is the method of gaining success in filmmaking?
Yeah, my whole talk was about that, and I think that success is a very subjective. For some people success means 200 crores, for some people success means awards, for some people success means a story that captures the attention of people and the hearts of people. For me, that's success. Success for me goes beyond numbers. If I believe even if there is one person for whom something I've made can that be their favorite thing in the entire world? That's how I try and make my content. Whatever I make, I try and think, can this be somebody's favorite thing in the entire world? If that can be true for one person, I know it can be true for many people. So and that's the way that I sort of go about, and that's what I think about success. And the way to sort of really do is, again, be honest to your instincts. If you have the natural sort of, hopefully you possess the talent of understanding what makes for a good story, and then of course you've honed the craft with your passion and hard work, then you perhaps get into a position where you're able to tell these stories well. And I think that's what sort of leads to success. Ultimately honest storytelling.
Okay sir, अगर आपकी लाइफ पे एक 5 मिनट की शॉर्ट फिल्म बनेगी, so we have heard the wedding incident obviously, but what other incident you can just, वो mandatory होंगे उसमें कि that is mandatory?
It's a great question. You're asking some very good questions, Osheen. I'm not prepared for such a good show. Okay, so many incidents. My whole life is just full of stories. My best friend at a time used to tell me that तेरी जिंदगी ना एक साइन कर्व के जैसे है. It either has extreme highs or it has extreme lows. There's no middle ground in my life, and that's how it's always been. My life has always been that. But I think I think my most favorite part of life will still be the 4 years I spent in engineering college, because it was the most having grown up in Bahrain, and you think of it, I've actually grown up abroad, not in India. But the day I arrived in IIT Kurukshetra, I got a culture shock. I was like, ये कहाँ आ गया हूँ? ये क्या हो रहा है?
It would be tough actually.
ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? On day one itself, I think a lot of people offered me a mixture of substances that I don't want to name on radio, and then I was like, wait, how is this happening in India? India is supposed to be way more cultured place, but then of course that has nothing to do with culture, as I would soon find out. But it's been, I think the 4 years I spent in engineering taught me, like, I didn't learn anything of engineering because as I said, I think within the first year I realized कि मैं ये engineering तो नहीं कर सकता. Now I have 3 more years to figure out अब मैं क्या करूँगा. But what I did learn was about life. I met people from all kinds of places. Like I can now claim to have friends in every state of the country, because NIT, the way NITs work is 50% is from your state and the 50% is from across India, and there's a quota for everyone. So my wife is from Assam, and I would never have ever met, I suppose, or fallen in love with someone from Assam had I not been in NIT Kurukshetra and been in a place where there are mandatory quotas from people from everywhere. So I definitely, I think NIT Kurukshetra has given me a lot, taught me a lot, given me a wife. So I think that is really I don't think it would be a 5-minute story, but yeah, I think that is going to be the major chunk of what it is. Engineering, learning life at an engineering college.
It was great. It would be great actually. The movie would be.
I want to see it myself.
So यहाँ हम लेंगे एक छोटा सा ब्रेक, वापस लौट के आऊँगे अपना शो लेके सफरनामा मेरे यानी ओशीन के साथ, और बात करेंगे मिस्टर निखिल तनेजा से. सो स्टे ट्यून्ड.
सितारों से छलकने लगा चांद सा, तू जो मुझ में चमकने लगा. आसमां सितारों से छलकने लगा चांद सा, तू जो मुझ में चमकने लगा. रहूं तेरे यूं पास में, बनूं तेरा एहसास में, यार जी लूं तेरी हर सांस में. शाम सा तू ढलता, तू सुबह सा निकलता, तेरे साए में चलता, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे. है यही इरादा तुझे चाहूं खुद से ज्यादा, दिल से है ये वादा, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे. सीने में तेरे प्यार की उड़ती है पतंगे, उड़ के यूं हवा में तेरा मैं आंचल हुआ. ओ भीगा हूँ तेरे साथ मैं बारिशों में तेरी, बिखरी जो तेरी जुल्फ तो मैं बादल हुआ. काली आंखें मेरे ख्वाब का है दरिया, मैं उतर के इनमें खो गया. है यही इरादा तुझे चाहूं खुद से ज्यादा, दिल से है ये वादा, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे. सोए तू तुझे रात भर मैं देखा करूं. मुझ में तू कुछ इस तरह से हो गया है शान, तेरे बिन चलूं भीड़ में तो तन्हा लगूं. आए ना हो कोई नजर आए मुझको तू ही, मैं भी तेरा चेहरा हो गया. है यही इरादा तुझे चाहूं खुद से ज्यादा, दिल से है ये वादा, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे, मैं हूँ साथ तेरे.
वेलकम बैक. शो चल रहा है सफरनामा मेरे यानी ओशीन के साथ और हमारे साथ है मिस्टर निखिल तनेजा. ओके सो सर, सम टिप्स यू would be giving to the aspiring storytellers, filmmakers.
Yeah. So I would again repeat what I said in my session. I think very important to be honest. Try and talk about the truth that you understand. Now, when I say that, there are two things. There is the craft of making of filmmaking, and then there is the art of it. The art really deals with what kind of story should be told. The craft deals with how should it be told. And I think that the first one works by being, through your instincts, through being honest in understanding what makes for good stories, being truthful about the kind of stories that you're trying to say. It really talks about digging deep and seeing what makes you feel, what makes others feel, and what should be, and what are these stories that should be told. Then the second is how can you tell them in a way that's accessible to as many people as possible. Accessibility is very, there's stories that are told in a very complicated manner or sometimes very subtle manner, and it's so important. Like Amir Khan and Raju Hirani are the two, and Anand Rai now. I think there are three filmmakers who are able to tell stories beautifully in a way that they're good stories, but they tell them in a way that they're super accessible. And that's the point, right? Especially if you have something truthful to say. The point should be, how do I get it to the largest audience? Now that is about, that craft of accessibility comes from understanding again the audiences, then just working hard. So talk about the story, find your truth and turn it into art. Take that, then work on it, and that's your craft. Work and hone it until it becomes great. Third is just then put it out there, just like really don't wait for someone to knock on your door, and don't wait for someone to give you the money. Just go out and self-publish, just go out and put your content out there, because that's how you learn. Don't wait for people to come and like sort of save you.
Okay, so sir, मेरे शो का नाम है सफरनामा, and I know your सफरनामा, we know your सफरनामा, but the most important pillars of your सफरनामा, your journey, who are the most important people that supported you through all the journey. So just...
That's a lovely, again, I love everything about this show. I love everything about the questions that you're asking. Oshin, you're a fantastic RJ.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I just wish I could do this interview forever. But I know I can't. So
that's so sweet of you, sir.
Safarnama, I love the idea itself. I think the first and foremost would be my mother, and she has been she's pretty much raised me and my brother completely, entirely. She's tough as nails. She is, and how mothers are in our country. I think mothers are both mothers and fathers in our country, actually. So my mother has played both. She has been just an inspiration to the fact that she's, I think just raised two sons and then just been empathetic towards them and given us the kind of values, I think that we carry in us. It's all thanks to her. My Masi has been she's been a second mother, and she's always been there. My brother has been a huge help, and then of course for the last 11 years, I've been before I married her, my wife was also my girlfriend for about 8 years, and she's been so sweet and kind and supportive to me, that I have always been very ambitious and always been very passionate about the work I do. And she's given me the space to do this without complaining too much. She complains, but not too much, and I'm really grateful about having someone in my life. I don't think I would be able to do half as much, and I do a lot of things if she wasn't super kind and supportive to me. So yeah, actually the women of my life are just really the people who've been there for me.
Okay, so this is the last one actually.
Sure. I'm really sad about that. I wish there were more questions.
Your experience in Prestige Cinevision Film Festival. You had a great talk with our Prestigians.
Thank you.
And our faculty, our media faculty.
Yeah.
How you feel coming to Prestige? And
yeah, I've loved it. I have loved everything about it. I'm so impressed because I've been teaching in media colleges in Bombay as well. and I don't see this kind of action, based, I don't see the kind of response that you guys have. I don't see the kind of passion very often. Sometimes a lot of the people that I've met across are shy kids, people who are doing what they're doing, but they're not very confident about going forward, and I as a teacher try to sort of open them up. But it's so good to see that you guys are following your passion in Indore, where there are fewer opportunities for something like this, and the way you have everything, man. The audio interview that I'm doing right now, you being such a fantastic RJ. I had a great video chat with people, other students. Then of course the talk and the Q&A session and the teachers. I think at college is really made up of the students. That's the great college is actually consists of great students, and I found spectacular students here. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm so glad I have one more day left, and I wish I can talk to as many of you as possible, and I wish I'm called back. I really love to come here. I really love to talk to you again, and I really love to, I just really like this college. It's fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. So Prestige, it's a wrap. Stay tuned for another episode of Safarnama with me, OSHEEN. Thank you.
तू जो रूठा तो कौन हंसेगा, तू जो छूटा तो कौन रहेगा, तू चुप है तो ये डर लगता है, अपना मुझको अब कौन कहेगा, तू ही वजह तेरे बिना बेवजह बेकार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं। जाते नहीं कहीं रिश्ते पुराने किसी नए के आ जाने से, जाता हूँ मैं तो मुझे तू जाने दे, क्यों परेशान है मेरे जाने से, टूटा है तो जुड़ा है क्यों, मेरी तरफ तू मुड़ा है क्यों, हक नहीं तू ये कहे कि यार अब हम ना रहे, एक तेरी यारी का ही सातों जन्म हकदार हूँ मैं।